Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Compass Plus podbyte. Today, I have Kirsty with me, our head of product marketing and market analytics. We recently conducted a two-part survey in the UK to find out how consumers' banking and payments habits have changed slowly over the past 10 years. Obviously, COVID would have had a big impact on this. What are the trends are we currently seeing as a result of the pandemic, Kirsty?
Well, I think there are some obvious ones, that people are using less cash. There's an increased use of contactless and mobile payments, particularly as consumers sought out contact-free ways of making payments in the last couple of years. And if we look at banking, the temporary branch closures due to government lockdowns definitely pushed more people towards internet and mobile banking. What's actually quite interesting is, we've been carrying out these surveys for quite a long time now, for 9 or 10 years. And just 7 years ago, only 15% of consumers actually preferred or stated that they preferred mobile banking. Today, that's 71%, and 90% of our respondents of our most recent survey are using it regularly, and nearly half of which are using it daily. So, the last couple of years has really had a big impact on the remote banking sector.
So going on from there, I noticed that the survey also touched on this security versus convenience debate that's been going on recently. What did we find around that area?
Yes, it's really important to us to look at what consumers view as the least and most secure payment methods. Credit and debit cards always seem to come up at the top of the list, as the most secure payment methods. And this year, contactless and mobile, although they were viewed as, they weren't viewed as the least secure payment method, they weren't far off it. However, despite this, we've obviously seen a huge increase in usage of these payment methods. And they've actually been rated as the top two payment methods that people expect to use to make the majority of their payments in 10 years' time. So I think this just shows that people are favouring the convenience over security.
Okay. And I suppose with obviously this mobile banking on the rise, there's almost a tiny bit of a digital revolution in the UK happening currently. How is this impacting the open banking scene?
So if we look at open banking, while 2 years ago, I think 70% of our respondents actually didn't know what open banking was. Today, that's just 6%, which is obviously due to the education that banks and FIs are giving to their consumers. But while our survey shows that usage of of open banking has actually doubled, less than 1 in 3 people have registered their other accounts with their mobile banks. So it is increasing, but it's not significant.
Okay. And going on to another topic that we sort of touched on in the survey as well, what sort of trends are we seeing with ATMs at the moment?
So with ATMs, the majority of people actually use them as cash machines. And as consumers are decreasing their use of cash in favour of the contact-free alternatives, we've seen that ATM usage has also declined, with the majority of people only using the ATMs very, very rarely, and quite a number of respondents stating that they never use them.
Okay. And does age come into play with everything that you've mentioned earlier in this podcast?
So the industry has always attributed consumer habits to age. Younger generations are more likely to use newer payment methods or banking channels because they're more tech savvy than older generations. And the older generations, they're perceived to be stuck in their ways and use the more traditional ways to make payments. And whilst this certainly was the case like 5 to 6 years ago, both preferences towards channels and payment methods are now changing. And we've seen this gap decrease quite significantly in the last couple of years as, COVID has pushed new habits to be formed by all age groups. For example, while the over 60s are still more likely to use internet banking as a preferred banking channel, mobile banking came in at a very close second. And actually, the majority of the over 60s that we surveyed stated that they used it on a daily basis. So it shows that the behavioural gap has definitely decreased, and I think it's likely to continue to decrease in the coming years.
Oh, well, thank you for taking us through some of those key results there today, Kirsty. Really appreciate it. For anybody listening, you can find our full research results on our latest ebook, which is The State of Banking and Payments 2021, How Consumer Habits Have Changed. Thank you for listening.